Seun was quite surprised to see the humanoid sprout who introduced herself as Flame. He asked her if she was the one that Ents were looking for. She replied happily while twirling on that she was the one, and she was finally able to speak with him. This was the happiest she had ever been since she gained consciousness. But Seun remembered that she had introduced herself as Flame. But that name didn't have anything to do with an apple tree at all. Moreover, how can a plant talk? She hurriedly explained that because she was a flaming red apple tree, she could directly transmit her consciousness into his head through the power of magic. As for her appearance, she shaped herself to look good in front of him, and asked him if he did not like it. She felt sad after saying this. Seeing her feeling down the next second, Seun was quite flustered. He explained hurriedly that he liked it, and she was really cute, and he coaxed her. But then he wanted to confirm everything that she was the flaming red apple tree, and she could also use magic. She must be an incredible tree. He was feeling cocky that the washed apple he ate back then had really become a great apple. Flame was feeling shy, hearing that her master was praising her too much, and told him that she was not that great. When she was just a seed, she felt an intense heat, and she had to take root in order to survive. She kept going on and on, downwards, endlessly, to the point that she didn't know where it ended. But one day she discovered cold underground water. She was quite happy she could relieve the intense heat with this. She drank the water to withstand the heat. But in that darkness, she was all alone. She had been waiting for the day she would receive sunlight and bloom into a beautiful sprout. And now that she has met her master, she had no more regrets. Hearing the story of the flame, Seun felt sorry for her that it was his fault. He forgot that he planted an apple seed in that place, and neglected her. On top of that, he set up a bonfire in that place. He said sorry to her, but Flame countered that it was not like that. He made her strong. And then she showed him her magic flame. Only because of that she was able to wield this type of magic now. Seun was astonished to see that she could control fire. She cheekily replied that she was a flaming red apple tree after all, and then she stood with her chest out and chinned up with a proud expression. She was looking so cute. Seun clapped for her and praised her that a plant that is usually vulnerable to fire is now controlling fire. That was really incredible. Flame excitedly told her master that she could only make this for now, but she would grow as fast as possible and help her master. Seun was happy and said that he was so proud of her. She was our cute and youngest flame in the family after all. And then he raised his hand to pet her. He said to her that she must have gone through a lot inside the ground. She doesn't have to overwork herself outside now. When he petted her head, she became still. This was the first time someone had done this to her. Seun laughed and told her to grow up healthily without any worries, and she would get sick if she overworked herself. Flame felt the emotion of feeling loved for the first time. She was quite happy, and told him to pet her more. He complied and told her that he would pet her as much as she wanted. For Flame, this was the best day of her apple tree life. She was glad she could act spoiled and receive her master's affection. For this, she could just hide a bit of her roots from her master for a bit longer. The root she had been talking about was too long and thick that didn't match with her outer appearance at all. It had reached up to ocean water and had made a net all over in one part of the oceanic region. But our flame is asking us to keep this a secret. Let's keep it secret until Seun finds it on his own. Our flame is really cute. Now back to the story. On the 39th floor, Han Taejun asked Theo to spit out about Sejun's location. Theo was getting nervous. But then Dongshik recalled that Theo had told him the other day that Seun had saved him on the 40th floor. Back then the cat had told him a lie regarding this, because he was sure that no human would have ever made it to the 40th floor till now. Theo was sweating profusely. He replied that he couldn't tell them anything regarding this. Han Taejun wanted to know the reason because, at this time, Park Sejun was receiving the attention of the entire world in his home, the Earth. He didn't know how it was for all of them who lived in the tower, but he was an extremely important figure to the humans outside the tower. Han Tae-jun asked Theo to tell him which floor Seijun was on and how he was doing, whether he needed help and why he wasn't coming out of the tower. As the Hunter Association of the country's leader, he needed to know that. He begged Theo to show some generosity. Theo felt uncomfortable hearing this, so he made the offer to sign a contract that they would keep everything they exchanged a secret, and Han Tae-jun would only tell the truth to Theo, and write that he would offer his life if he violated the contract. Then only he can tell. Han Tae-jun agreed while Dong-shik felt a little uncomfortable, but Han Tae-jun told him what he was doing. They should both sign it. After writing the contract, they stamped his paw, while Han Tae-jun and Dong-shik signed it. Then suddenly a screen popped up on both sides. Han Tae-jun swore under the honor of a hunter that he would only speak the truth to Theo and keep everything he heard a secret. The same goes for Kim Dong-shik. Now he asked Theo to tell him about where Seijun was. Theo sighed and replied that truthfully, Seijun was not on the 40th floor right now. That's what Seijun had asked him to tell the people when asked. Dong-shik was stunned and asked him then where he was now. The cat sat on his paw and told them that Park Seijun was in a place so far high up that humans could not even imagine, let alone go there. That is why he couldn't get down from the tower. Hearing this information, Dong-shik was too shocked to comment, while Han Tae-jun was deep in thought. Theo said goodbye after he was done with them. Dong-shik couldn't digest that and asked his master if it was true. Han Tae-jun pretended to not understand the question. Dong-shik countered that he was well aware that no matter how strong a hunter is, it was difficult to go beyond a certain floor using even Lingen, but Seijun on a far place and even growing crops there. That didn't make any sense. He assumed that Park Seijun was probably around the 60th floor. But what if he was being held captive and isolated by the monsters there? Han Tae-jun agreed that it must be all true, but he also commented that judging by the description of the sweet sun pumpkin potato, the description said that it was soaked up in the sun's rays from the highest point of the tower. Dong-shik had seen it too. By the tower's highest point, where did he think that would be? Dong-shik's eyes went wide when he guessed that. Han Tae-jun was confident in his analysis that they didn't know the reason, but he now knew that Park Seijun was on the 99th floor right now. On the other side of the 99th floor, Seijun's ears felt very itchy. He was harvesting the green onions with the rabbit family. He wondered if someone was talking about him. In the next scene, which was Theo's hometown, Grana Village, the big mansion of the richest family in the village, Israel's residence. An old black cat with a long moustache was sitting on the chair, and there was full of documents on the table in front of him. While on the sofa, a young black cat, Oren, with his girlfriend, were flirting with each other while ignoring the old cat. The old cat was Oren's father, Israel. He said that he had heard the war with the red locusts on the 67th floor was taking longer than they had expected. Due to that, food shortage was expected, similar to the Great Famine decades ago. Bu Oren was too busy to listen to his old man. Oh yeah, a mannerless and shithead cat. Israel was talking about the price of food that was being imported into their Grana Village had nearly doubled or tripled lately, and it was becoming a real headache. With so little information, there was no way to know what was going on in the tower. Israel was talking about serious matters while his son Oren, the shithead, was ignoring all the manners, flirting and giggling with his girlfriend. It was really going too far. The old cat got angry and shouted that was he even listening. But the little white cat acted like a white lotus. She was acting coy in Oren's arm and said that her heart almost dropped by his shouting, and that scared her. Oren, of course, the shithead, would only take a side with the weak, asked his father, "Why did that war even matter? They had a lot of money. See? What even the shithead was talking about." The old cat was again being ignored. Oren comforted the white bitch. But that old man was not going to let him be. He scolded him that he was still going to just fool around at his age. If he does not run to the merchant district to buy food right now, he will disown him. Well, the old man made the big move and directly threw him out of the mansion with little baggage. Oren got angry, that damned oldie. Did he think that he couldn't even do a simple thing like buying food? His name was Oren. What was so difficult in buying some damned food? There were some little followers with him. He commanded that he needed a potter, and then grumpily made his way in a certain direction. But there was someone in the corner of the street listening to all the matter. He was none other than the scammer goblin, who had once cheated our Theo.